Have you noticed it's been almost a year since Repentance Plus came out? Oh man, we're getting old, and so does Isaac. As far as we know, this is the final expansion, and aside from small patches, Isaac is not getting any new DLCs. While it's kinda sad, it's also a perfect moment to take a look back at both versions of the game, Flash Isaac and its remake Isaac Rebirth. We'll go through the most interesting things that were added with each expansion. This way, we'll see how much Isaac has changed over its 14 years of development. I'll also cover some of the more recent Repentance Plus patches, so stick around until the end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Now, let's start by looking at what this Flash Isaac game was all about. Come on, Isaac, you can open the chest. Flash Isaac was released in September 2011. It's called Flash Isaac because the game was made in Flash, which allows it to run in browsers on the well-known site Newgrounds. Believe it or not, people still play Isaac's demo on this site and leave comments. One of the developers, Florian himself, still reads them and sometimes replies. Here are some of the funniest recent comments. Yo, it's the backpack from Fortnite! Man, kids these days, am I right? The greatest. 60 likes? Is this some kind of celebrity? This game fire, for real. Wonder when the full game will come out. The game sucks. Edmund Macmillan, little made a trash. I will become back. Oh my real trash. The game features 7 playable characters: Isaac, Magdalene, Cain, Judas, Eve, the Blue Baby, and Samson. The Blue Baby's health worked differently. A full health pill can restore his hearts up to 3. Devil deals count as damage, which allows him to take deals cheaper with the wafer or even for free using the Book of Shadows. In Rebirth this was changed and all devil deals started costing him 3 soul hearts. Samson wasn't in the base game. He was added with the Wrath of the Lamp DLC, unlocked by beating Mom while skipping 2 treasure rooms. You can actually look at the items, but to unlock the character you have to skip 2 of them. In Rebirth this condition was changed to clearing 2 floors without taking damage. Samson's starting item, Bloody Lust, also worked differently. Damage increases for killing enemies, not for taking damage. Now we have another item called Lusty Blood that has the same effect. Besides Samson, Wrath of the Lamb added to the game. New bosses, unfortunately one of them was bloat. Trinkets, which weren't in the base game. The first transformation, Guppy. A new final boss, the Blue Baby, buffed versions of the 7 deadly sins, eternal hearts, and 98 new items. With this expansion, the game has 196 available items. Keep in mind that by items, I mean all collectibles, not just the passive items. Besides Wrath of the Lamb, Flash Isaac has an infamously brutal expansion called Eternal Edition. By the time this expansion was in development, Edmund was already focused on the Rebirth version of the game, so, left without an artist, Florian decided to turn the entire expansion into a cruel challenge. He himself didn't enjoy playing the game, but absolutely loved watching other people suffer, which is clearly reflected in the added content. Let's take a look. Isaac's D6 could now delete items instead of rerolling them. In Flash, it only cost 3 charges, so Florian decided to nerf it. The modern game has its reworked version, the Eternal D6, which only costs 2 charges. Florian also decided to remove the heart limit. You could get so many hearts that they would simply go off screen. The main highlight of this expansion, eternal versions of monsters, which are exclusive to the new hard mode. These things are extremely dangerous, but they have high chance of dropping new Eternal Hearts. Eternal Hearts work the same, aside from 2 things. First is that they would take damage before Red Hearts, making them way easier to lose. Second is the unique Eternal Transformation, which you get by gaining 7 heart containers from Eternal Hearts. This transformation is somewhat similar to the modern Seraphim. Here are a couple of interesting Eternal bosses that Florian came up with. Eternal Greed, aside from coins, also knocks bombs and keys out of you. Eternal Envy merges its heads when they collide. Eternal Heart chases you around the room while summoning eternal enemies. As you might have guessed, because of this not for everyone difficulty, the expansion turned out to be very niche, and most of Florian's ideas never made it into Rebirth. If you want to try the modern version of this hard mod for yourself, I suggest the Repentance Eternal Edition mod. Even Florian recommends it, though he notes that the Eternal enemies appear way too often. I have left a link to the mod in the description. Now I list a couple of interesting details that I noticed while playing for this video. The sounds of Isaac's pain are more realistic, which makes it creepy. When you leave a secret room, the entrance closes, so you have to blow it up every time you want to enter. If a secret room is adjacent to a cursed room, for some reason they will be connected with a spiked door. Knights can literally see you with their eyes, and when they do, they instantly turn around. It is as horrible as it sounds. High Priestess can sometimes strike multiple times. You can't blow up shopkeepers. Due to limitations of Flash, which was never really meant to be a game engine, the game can only be played on a keyboard at 30 FPS. All things considered, I enjoyed Flash, but it's time to talk about the remake that made this weird Isaac game legendary. In November 2014, Isaac received its remake called The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. First and foremost, the game got its own engine, which lets Isaac shit and cry at 60 FPS. The game can also handle a lot more objects on screen. The entire visuals were replaced with chunky pixel art, reflecting Edmund's love for arcade retro games. However, if you look closely, you might notice something feels a bit off. In Rebirth, the view is zoomed in to fill the screen. This introduces a problem where enemies can sometimes hide behind the HUD. The music in Rebirth became more atmospheric, compared to the original, more melodic soundtracks. Which one's better is debatable. I prefer the Flash soundtrack. I won't list all the added items, but the total number jumped from 196 to 341. The most important thing about the items is that many of them now get unique effects when combined. It's called synergies. Outside of being cool, it's a huge quality of life change. For example, in Flash, knife overrides the brimstone effect. Even spoon just does not work with brimstone. In Rebirth, combining the knife with brimstone gives a unique hail of knives. And the spoon gives brimstone my favorite homing effect. Rebirth also added initial co-op support, where your friend is forced to play as a lame ghost baby, a controller support, a timer and boss rush that encourages players to speedrun, new characters, Lazarus, Zeal, Eden, and everyone's favorite ghosty boy, The Lost. There is a lot to say about him, so buckle up. Initially, nothing was known about the character, as his unlock method was a secret puzzle left by Edmund. It involved dying 4 times in a row under specific conditions while playing as specific characters. The puzzle originated from a piece of puzzle that was shown upon death in a sacrifice room while holding the missing poster. Unfortunately, before players could solve the puzzle, someone data mined the unlock condition. This annoyed Edmund so much that he just had to come up with something special for his next secret character. We'll get to that. Going back to Lost, back in my days, the Lost started with no holy mantle and had no active item. If you think that's bad, this version of Lost didn't even have spectral tears, so no hiding behind rocks. His only advantage, 3 devil deals. This Lost could have taken all of them. Before we move to the first DLC of Rebirth, a quick reminder: if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks in advance. Now let's take a look at the very first expansion of Rebirth, called Afterbirth. Just a year after the release of Isaac Rebirth, in October 2015, Isaac received its first DLC called Afterbirth. It added a ton of new things: alternative floors, not these ones, daily runs, a new boss Harsh that you can fight by beating Mother in less than 30 minutes, 95 new items, a bulky version of Extra HUD that only displays up to 10 collected items. Spiked and Angel chests, this expansion also introduced some of the most popular transformations: Bob, Conjoined, Spawn, Leviathan, Seraphim, and finally the notoriously grindy Greed mode, which hides two new characters behind it. The first character is Lilith, unlocked by beating Greed mode with a Zeal. Her starting item, Box of Friends, initially was a 2-room charge item, which turned out to be too strong and led to a quick nerf, making it 4 rooms. The second character is Keeper, added to the game after the community solved another one of Edmund's puzzles. The character's existence, although hidden, was discovered within the first minutes of the expansion's release. However, this time there was no way to cheat in Edmund's game, as the puzzle was moved to the real world, forcing Isaac players to finally touch some grass. I'll briefly go over what Isaac community went through to get Keeper added to the game. After watching the video, I recommend reading the full story. It's very interesting. Currently, Keeper is unlocked after fully filling the Greed donation machine. Before Keeper was added to the game, it only gave the Generosity achievement. A certain Reddit user translated pixels of this thumbnail into an Imgur link with a picture of the Lost and 8 Shadows. As soon as players published their discovery, Edmund posted a photo with a movie poster in the background. The intro to that movie was set in Santa Cruz, which was the clue that players needed to search there. In Santa Cruz, players found a poster with a phone number. Calling the number triggers a voicemail of Isaac's father, saying that he needs to hear a specific question.
Hello, Isaac. This is your father. I know what you came for, but I need to hear you ask me.
The question turned out to be the phrase, "Where are you?" After that, the voicemail changed to a line from the Bible. The line contained an encrypted GPS coordinates, as well as the phrase, "We need to go deeper." So players went there and dug up a figurine of Greed with its Twitter account details. After logging in and tweeting several questions, Greed changed the password and published an achievement page. Sometime later, a patch was released, adding Keeper to the game. The character was as challenging as the Lost, and at this stage of game's development, he couldn't have more than 2 of his coin containers. Devil deals couldn't be purchased. The only option was to give one of your precious coin containers. Even worse, Keeper was the only character who could die from a bad trip or a health down pill. The Lost, however, received a couple of well-deserved buffs. Now Fire's Spectral Tears starts with an active item D4 if it's unlocked, and as the Greed donation machine is filled, Lost gets a new starting item, the Holy Mantle. Though the mantle made no sound when breaking, so you had to constantly watch your character. His unlock method also got changed to just dying in a sacrifice room while holding the missing poster. The Greed donation machine also unlocks a couple of essential items: Paperclip for Cain and Razorblade for Eve. The Afterbirth expansion brought a lot of good to the game and was very successful, so the developers decided to release another paid expansion called Afterbirth Plus. It turned out to be quite controversial. Let's see what it's all about. Afterbirth Plus was released in January 2017. It focused on refining the previously added content, while also adding plenty of its own. This included features like the second part of the HUD, displaying your stats, though its icons were colorless back then, 111 new items, still broken final boss, Delirium, and just as hated new type of enemy, portals. The problem was that these portals could appear on almost any floor and would endlessly spawn random enemies until you destroyed them. They were eventually nerfed to summon a limited number of enemies, but the damage was done. I'm still traumatized. Now these portals can only be encountered on the Delirium floor. At this stage of the game, they don't cause any problems. Greed mode received its own hard mode called Greedier. The main difference from the regular Greed mode is the second phase of the fight with Ultra Greed. Of course, the fight comes with a set of new unlocks. Perhaps the most important feature is official mod support. thanks to which the Isaac community has remained active for many years. Mods existed before, but now they were moved to the Steam Workshop, which made them easier to install and much more popular among players. Mods also no longer lock you out of earning achievements, which was a huge deal breaker. To encourage modding, the best ideas from the workshop were later added as a part of this expansion in a series of 5 booster packs, each one adding new items and other game improvements. This included things like an option to enable charge indicator for passive items, small dice icons in the dice rooms to help indicate the effect of the room, and a brand new character, bringing the number of characters added in this expansion to 2. The rather boring Apollyon, and the Forgotten, who was added by the community in the last booster pack. The unlock method hasn't changed, so I won't focus on it. Aside from being first true melee character, Forgotten also introduced new bone hearts. At the time, these bone hearts could not be used to take devil deals, forcing you to switch to the soul and spend soul hearts instead. Some of the original characters also got new starting items, which are unlocked after completing challenges. Magdalene got the speed up pill, Samson a child's heart, and Lazarus starts with anemic. It's worth noting that the developers of a very popular Antibirth mod helped create the 4th and 5th booster packs, which added the Forgotten. The next DLC, Repentance, is actually based on that mod. Released in March 2021, the Repentance DLC was a massive, high-quality update that brought a huge wave of new players to Isaac. As I mentioned, Repentance is the official adaptation of the Antibirth mod. It refines the best ideas from the mod and adds a lot more of its own new content. If we compare the amount of added content to previous DLCs, it is clear that Repentance is so huge that it could almost be treated as a new game. So what was added? For starters, a record number of items, a whole 169, as well as some long-anticipated synergies for old items, an option to minimize the extra HUD so that it can display up to 24 items, broken and rotten hearts, new wooden, ghost and mega chests, an official multi-language localization, a reworked co-op where everyone gets to play as an actual character, instead of a lame baby. Now friends can join your run even if you're using mods. Your friend doesn't even need to own a copy of the game, though it only works on the same PC with multiple controllers or via Steam Remote Play. You can also connect using the console, but then both players must own a copy of the game with all DLCs. Shops, libraries, dice rooms and vaults received their own unique door sprites. Previously they all looked the same. We also got 2 new characters, well actually it's a lot more, but we'll get to that. So we got Bethany and the walking hitboxes, Jacob and Esau. They were actually the first characters that made me look into their biblical story, which is directly related to one of the most interesting items added in this expansion, Birthright. I highly recommend reading their story, it's quite interesting. One of my favorite features of this DLC is unlocked after defeating Hush 3 times. Of course, I'm talking about the alternative floors. These floors are a lot more difficult, but offer some unique risk-reward options, including a path to a new final boss, the Witness. Repentance also adds a new unlockable room type, the Planetarium. It has a unique pool of astronomy-themed items, but there is a catch. You have to skip treasure rooms just to get a chance of finding it. The cool part is that you can find skipped treasure rooms later, if you go after a new secret final boss. And the path to reach it, called the Ascent, lets you unlock a whole 17 new alternate characters. Every character received their tainted version. As with every Edmund expansion, the unlock method was hidden. Each of these characters has a very powerful set of unlocks: Soulstone for beating Hush and Boss Rush, Rebirth Tarot card after beating Greedier mode, and a unique theme unlock for defeating Mega Satan. All of these are awesome additions to your runs and are worth getting as soon as possible. Well, maybe not all of them. Soon after the expansion's release, Tainted Jacob was reworked. Initially, it was possible to kill Esau, which immediately turned Jacob into the Lost without Holy Mantle. The problem was that on later floors, not killing ISO was almost impossible, leading to many depressing lose streaks. The only viable strategy was to delete ISO with the eraser. Now ISO is invulnerable, and his movements are much more predictable, making Tainted Jacob a fun and strong risk-reward character, which cannot be said about a certain other Tainted character. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Lazarus. You stink. The sprites of most original characters were updated, making them look a lot nicer. Furthermore, some of them got reworked. Magdalene's starting pill changed from speed up to full health, which lets her get an early item from the sacrifice room. Kane's lucky foot finally prevents him from getting bad pills, just like it was in the Flash Isaac. When playing as the blue baby, devil deals cost less, and every broken poop now summons a blue fly. Lazarus can now die once per floor, permanently increasing his stats in exchange for red heart containers. The D4 for Lost was replaced with the Eternal D6, which, in my opinion, suits him much better. Devil deals and red chests in the darkroom are a choice for him. Taking one of the items makes the rest disappear. Talking about the darkroom, pre-Repentance, these 4 red chests were just regular red chests. Now each one contains a random devil deal. Kiba got some much needed quality of life changes. The biggest one, he now unlocks a 3rd heart container after beating Hush. Taking damage no longer affects his devil deal chance, and he can finally buy items in the devil rooms instead of giving away his precious heart containers. Moreover, Keeper can no longer die from a bad trip pill, just like the rest of the characters, and the health down pill can no longer be encountered in a run as this character. The Forgotten was also not forgotten by the developers, finally allowing him to take devil deals in exchange for his bone hearts. Even better, in soul form, he can grab an item that would normally kill him and quickly switch back to the body to avoid death. So, these were some of my favorite Repentance highlights. Edmund himself stated that this expansion was the final one, and in the future, Isaac would only receive small patches and bug fixes. So this turned out to be a lie. Repentance Plus was released in November 2024, on the 10th anniversary of Rebirth. Similar to Antibirth Plus, this is an expansion for Repentance, but this time it's completely free. It is also mainly developed by Nicalis, while Edmund works on his new game Mugenics. So, what sets this new online mode apart from the old local co-op? An emote wheel with both useful and just funny emotes, a new set of blue and violet completion marks, sadly they don't unlock anything, a revive machine that can revive your teammates for money, players no longer have to share one screen, which was a pain in large rooms, and the most important feature, an option to play a quick game, which will connect you to a random lobby. After all, not everyone has friends to play Isaac with. At the end of the run, you get to see a new sins panel, which is a weird way to show statistics. These sins are assigned for various actions, both useful and not so much. For example, Wicked dealt the most damage, Expressive spammed the most emotes, Big Boss killed the most bosses, Gluttonous is the one who picked up hearts when teammates needed them more, and Lazy is the one who killed the fewest enemies. You can find these descriptions in the stats tab, but only after you get a specific sin in a run. If your team manages to successfully complete a run, you get to fight each other in a PvP minigame. There is a wide variety of minigames, each one on a different arena. Listing them all would take a very long time. So let's finish with the co-op here and run through the most interesting reworks of items and mechanics. Be warned, there are quite a few. First and foremost, you no longer need to install emote or item descriptions, as they were officially added to the game. Just defeat Mom and enable them in the settings. All items that you have picked up will have a description in the future runs. It also shows some useful extra info, like spin down dice reroll outcomes. Descriptions can be quickly toggled on and off, which is very convenient. There is also a new tab in the pause menu called My Stuff that lets you check the descriptions of all items in your inventory. Tainted Lost players are gonna love this one. Spawn indicators have been finally added. No more spawning enemies on top of you. Again, previously you had to install a separate mod for this. As for the mods, to my understanding, Repentance Plus keeps making changes to the modding API, which breaks some mods and forces creators to update them. Repentance Plus also introduced the first new transformation since Afterbirth Plus, the Necromancer. To get it, you need to find Necronomicon and its 2 lost pages. This transformation gives book 10 free uses per floor and changes its sprite. Sadly, it doesn't change Isaac's appearance. Many bosses now have a small chance to spawn a choice pedestal with their thematic item. For Monstra, it's Monstrous Tooth, for the Fallen, Brimstone Bombs. Golden hearts now instantly explode into coins when picked up by Lost or Keeper. Holy Mantle, Blanket, Holy Card and Wooden Cross received their own health bar icons. Horse Pills also received new unique effects. For example, an Aim Drowsy Horse Pill will work for the entire floor, and a Gold Horse Pill will turn Trinket into its golden version. Speaking of golden trinkets, they were finally reworked as well. Now all golden trinkets have their own unique effect. For example, Duct Tape now holds all familiars in a specific formation. You can even cycle through different formations using the Control key. Exploding a key or Bomb Beggar now increases the deal chance. Yeah, the Bomb Beggar can be exploded, but only with Mama Mega or the new Mega Bean. If you give these beggars a golden key or a golden bomb, they will give you an instant payout. We also got new devil deals that don't require hard containers. Jump on spikes a couple of times and the item is yours. Now let's take a look at some of the changed items, starting with Tainted Apollon's Abyss. Its Locust variety has been massively improved. A Knife Locust actually holds the knife. Brimstone one fires brimstone lasers. A Bamba Locust eats coins to level up. The variety is massive. If you're interested in seeing them all, I recommend checking out this channel. But before you do that, I still want to highlight a few more item reworks. Data Miner, the bane of your co-op. Aside from breaking the sprites and changing your stats, it also turns items into glitched TM trainer wands. Delirious. The summoned Delirium won't disappear until it dies. Only one Delirium can be summoned. Mega Bean now creates a Mega Explosion. It works just like Mama Mega, meaning it can open a passage to Boss Rush and Hush. But now it costs a whole 6 charges instead of 4. Mars now gives iframes both during and after the dash. The dash itself now sets enemies on fire. Little Portal got completely reworked. Now it creates a portal to a unique room. Any items and pickups dropped in the room will remain in it even after moving to the next floors. Sometimes a moving box appears in the room to make the hoarding process even easier. I've only covered my personal highlights, so naturally I missed a lot of stuff. Feel free to share your favorite features and reworks in the comment section. I would love to read them, and I'm sure other viewers will find them interesting too. I hope you enjoyed the video, because I worked really hard on it. So don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. That's all, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. It will probably be about Silk Zone.